watching News 12 Weekend.
We heard the sirens go off. We got down in the basement. We saw it coming, and things just started crashing around us.
It just sounded like a huge truck just going right over.
A killer tornado outbreak leaves several communities in our area devastated this Sunday night. The severe weather outbreak was hit both St. Peter and Comfrey especially hard. Good evening, I'm Christy Peel. As this freakish storm moved through our area, it left widespread destruction on a scale that is seldom seen in Minnesota, especially in March. The storm is already being blamed for claiming one life. A 6-year-old was killed, dozens were taken to area hospitals, some critically injured, and a La Center woman is still missing. Communities are rallying together, helping each other pick up the pieces. The governor's called in the National Guard to assist the folks in both St. Peter and Comfrey. Our team coverage on the severe storms begins with Brian Carrick, who joins us live at the Weather Center. Brian, what happened?
Thanks a lot, Christy. Yeah, it was a very active night across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa this evening. Actually, most of the action right around Mankato, the Brown County area, as well as Nicollet County and LeSueur County, seeing quite a bit of moisture. You can see right now an X-rad radar showing most of the storms have moved off to the east, blossomed a bit down towards Mason City. But what we had set up, we talked a little bit about this last night. We had a southerly flow on the surface winds from the south. We had upper level winds from the west that helped to create some circulation in the atmosphere. We had enough moisture being drawn up. We also had quite a temperature gradient. Right through here, we had temperatures in the 60s and 70s in Iowa, 30s and 40s across the Dakotas. We had dew points in the 50s over across all of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, while it was in the 30s for dew points across the Dakotas. Now, this storm continued to move through, and we'll have more on what the storm did across the area and more on how this storm developed in weather in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Tom Schultz was there. Tom, we've seen it on the radar, but to actually be there firsthand, what was it like?
Pretty amazing, Christy. I really haven't ever seen anything like it before. The town of St. Peter, where we arrived shortly after the storm moved through, widespread damage from one end of the town to the other. Now, we have some video. We'll just take a look at this as I kind of speak. As you can see, trees down all over the place. Huge, huge trees, 100-year-old trees. Houses damaged. I did not see any flattened houses, but it seems like there are hundreds and hundreds of homes in St. Peter that are damaged, many going to be unlivable. Of course, damage extensive at the Gustavus Adolphus College campus. You saw the steeple atop the Christ Chapel broken there. We understand there are many gas leaks in town. The authorities are quite concerned about that. The downtown business section was not spared. Very extensive damage there. And it is really, really amazing that there weren't more injuries and fatalities, widespread destruction. Again, trees in St. Peter, it's going to look so much different in the years to come. This is going to be a storm that people will see evidence of for years to come. And again, commercial buildings, residents are going to be many destroyed, I'm sure unlivable, and others it's going to take quite a bit to repair. And again, it's going to take a long time to get a handle on that damage. Although the authorities were doing what they can tonight, we understand the Red Cross is there, the Salvation Army helping out the communities, other communities, North Mankato, sent in fire and police units, and that was quite a welcome sight to see the aid taking place there. For our viewers now, we've got a tape of some of the victims. So let's take a listen to see exactly what some of the people who lived through this storm had to say about experiencing it tonight.
You could feel it. We were right in the center. We have a center part of the basement, like where an old fireplace used to be or something, and you could feel it. You could feel the drafts coming in and shaking. It was horrible.
Me and my family were here. We ran down the basement, and all of a sudden we heard windows breaking in and debris flying, and pretty soon there's nothing on top of us anymore, just a bunch of water and rain coming down.
There's some homes that are damaged pretty bad. They're safe enough right now to go in and get their belongings, but they aren't livable anymore.
It's still standing, but we got a bunch of damage on the roof, and both chimneys came down. We've lost a bunch of windows. Every tree on the property is leaning against the house someplace.
Just scary. Rain, tree trunks blowing, trees going down, glass flying, sound loud, just a roar.
It was nasty. Totally, wind just came up and started blowing stuff, and house started shaking.
I looked out this door and saw these trees down, and
an update for you. We just got word there are 16 people so far admitted to ISJ. And again, that's just Mankato, and other hospitals in the area are certainly very busy. And in Comfrey, a tornado caused widespread damage. Power lines are down, and Robert Redding was there. Robert is joining us now. What was it like?
Well, Christy, although some people in Comfrey will have a home to return to, the entire town of over 400 was evacuated as of 7 p.m. due to LP gas leaks and an ammonia leak.
All Comfrey residents are to leave town. There's leaking gas in all utilities. The National Guard will be in tonight to patrol the town. If you don't have the right out of town, there will be buses at the school to take you out of town.
The smell of ammonia and LP gas was layered across the town of Comfrey. Those who could not drive out of town were bused to emergency shelters in surrounding communities. The tornado that ripped through around 4:30 p.m. caused widespread damage. The elevator was totaled, and downtown looked like a battle zone. Although details of the number of people injured are sketchy, a Brown County Sheriff's official said that considering the extent of the damage, injuries were light. Houses were painted with okay when they were cleared of occupants. The damage also spread toward the Lake Hanska area. Downed power lines crisscrossed the roads, making many impassable. This farm on the north edge of Lake Hanska was leveled. Livestock was running loose. Tonight, the National Guard will be patrolling the vacant town of Comfrey. For News 12, I'm Robert Redding. And, Christy, all roads into Comfrey have been closed for the night.
Power lines, debris in the road?
Yeah, they're advising, well, they evacuated the entire town, and only National Guard and cleanup personnel will be there tonight.
Sure, and the same goes for St. Peter. After the storm ripped up Comfrey, it moved into Nicollet. Once again, the strong winds uprooted trees and made a big mess. Many barns were destroyed, leaving animals homeless and trapped. Farmers are searching, trying to account for all the animals. Many are still on the loose. Stay with us. Brian will have more on the storm coming up in weather. And straight ahead, for the first time, the 11-year-old girl targeted in the school ambush speaks out. And if you're worried about injured relatives, you can call the Emmanuel St. Joseph's hotline at area code 507-389-4650.
Covering southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, Christy Peel, Brian Carrick's weather, and Greg Peters with sports. You're watching News 12 Weekend.
Closed captioning on KEYC is brought to you by MRCI, providing job training and placement for adults with disabilities in the Fairmont area since 1978.
The big new 99 Ford Super Duty F-Series are here, and we're kicking off Ford's Truck Month with big savings. Lease a new Ford Explorer for $295 a month for 24 months with 10% down, or save big with 1.9% APR financing for 36 months. And check out the big selection of Expeditions. We're kicking off Ford Truck Month in a big way, so now's the time to get the sport utility that's right for you. See your Northland Ford dealer today for trucks built Ford tough.
Bobby, looks like you found a home in Bakersville. Holy Toledo, Bob. You've been traded to the Torpedoes. They love you.
Just because you're always on the go
Shreveport, Bobby, Shreveport. It's a good trade, kid.
doesn't mean you can't take along the KFC chicken you crave. Pick up boneless all-white meat Colonel strips. For a limited time, grab 3 crispy strips, wedges, and a Pepsi for just $2.99. They're ready to go when you are.
2 words, Bob. Kinitsu Carp.
Isn't it time for some really good chicken?
All across America, we're there to see you through. We're more than just an oil change, a name of Jiffy Lube.
I'm late, I'm dead, I'm so dead!
Mom, we're late!
Jiffy Lube helps you prevent problems. We keep you ready for the race.
Come on, Mom, I'm not getting any younger.
Jiffy Lube is on the Hilltop in the Mankato Auto Mall, open 7 days a week.
We're more than just an oil change, a name of Jiffy Lube. Drive in, drive out, drive on.
This is Ag Day. Ag Day, the best way to start your day.
topping national news, the 11-year-old girl targeted in the Arkansas school shooting is speaking out. Candace Porter says she dumped one of the suspects because he was, quote, trouble. Porter says when she heard 13-year-old Mitchell Johnson say something big was going to happen, she didn't take him seriously. In other news, 54-year-old Judy Bueno is scheduled to be executed in Florida's electric chair tomorrow morning. Her death sentence comes for the arsenic poisoning of her husband, Sergeant James Goodyear, 3 months after he returned from Vietnam in 1971. But she's also serving a life sentence for the 1980 drowning of her 19-year-old partially paralyzed son by pushing him out of a boat and into a river. That's not all. She was also convicted for the attempted murder of her fiancé in Pensacola in a 1983 car bombing incident. The alleged motive for all the crimes was insurance money. In tonight's Senior Report, Doris has the story of at-home caregivers. It's an increasingly popular trend that's keeping many seniors at home and out of nursing homes.
To exhibit signs of dementia. While Herb certainly is nowhere near being incapacitated, he certainly does need help to stay in his own home. You see, the thought of a nursing home, even though Herb is 91 and of course he's not in perfect health, still just scares the living daylights out of him.
I like living here.
So, lucky for Herb, he has Norma Curry. Norma is an in-home caregiver.
It's best for the person that is in later years to stay within the surroundings that are comfortable to them.
Of course, you already know that you have to be extra careful when you hire live-in caregivers.
We're at church, come on.
Herb Simon's family learned about Norma through word of mouth.
We're here to make him feel as part of the community and part of being a human being as possible.
There are also professional home caregivers who will come in and help around the house. Then they leave and come back the next day. So what about the cost? Well, you can count on spending anything from $6 an hour to $15 an hour, depending on the services required and how long they hang around. I'm Doris Winkler, Senior Report.
Stay with us. Brian will have the latest on the string of severe storms that ripped through our area earlier today. And once again, that ISJ hotline number, area code 507-389-4650.
Yes?
This is Smithers at the front gate. Sir, there's a very large truck here with a shipment of what appears to be 100 fire hydrants.
Excellent. I'll be right out.
Introducing Lucky Dog from the Minnesota State Lottery. Each $1 game ticket could be worth up to $5,000. Players must be 126 dog years or older.
March is Basement Month at your do-it-all dealer, Creative Housing. We have the basement homes you've been looking for with Dutch and Marshfield Homes. Creative Housing can do it all for you with 5 different models available. Or if you prefer your dream home to be a dynamic home, Creative Housing can do it all for you with Ramblers, 2 stories, splits, and Cape Cods. Interest rates are low, just like your monthly payments. Only from your do-it-all dealer, Creative Housing Mankato. Call today.
Get ready for the worst day of your miserable life. Sweet mother of Zeus.
It's the monster!
Hercules! He's the one that can break us free!
Eos?
Today's weather is brought to you by the new Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealers. It's about change.
Lighter yet stronger. More power from less space. More space from less size. A drag coefficient among the lowest in the world. There's more than a pattern emerging here. It's the world's first use of cyber synthesis, where vehicles are designed, built, and tested in the virtual world so they'll perform better in the real world. The new Durango. and the new Intrepid. New vision from the new Dodge.
Brian joins us with weather, and Brian, to say it's been an amazing day is an understatement.
I think so. It's been very busy. We've been keeping people up to date since about 2:30 this afternoon when everything started to unfold. Quite a severe situation. I'm glad that people were actually able to stay tuned and get to the basement in time. A lot of people calling in tonight. I want to thank them as well. Everybody here at KEYC has been incredible, the amount of effort that's been put into this storm tonight. And as we take a look at the radar, that started about 2:30. This would have been about 3 o'clock this evening. You could see actually most of the precipitation that moved through started in southwestern Minnesota, where tornado warnings were issued first in Rock and out in Murray counties. As we get a little closer, you can see the cell right here in Brown County. It starts to hook, a hook echo, and right in there where you see the little greens with the reds right next to each other, that's a tornado. That's a tornado that's confirmed on Doppler radar. We also had confirmation from law enforcement officials that a tornado was scooting across Brown County. Those out in Comfrey dealing with the problem in downtown where a tornado did hit. We also had tornado reports in Nicollet and Cortland, between Mankato and Nicollet. That's the one that moved into St. Peter. St. Peter right about here, and that's what hit around St. Peter. You can see the hook echo on that radar loop there. With that sunshine we got this afternoon, we were boosted up to 66 in a very short time, and that temperature jump helped to fuel a lot of these thunderstorms this afternoon. So it got very muggy this afternoon. Look at our average high of 50, our overnight low of 45, but this is the factor right here. We had temperatures in the 60s, the mid to upper 60s across southern Minnesota, while they were only in the 40s across most of South Dakota. We saw 0.18 of an inch of precipitation here in Mankato and North Mankato. Now I know in some of the shorter bursts of rain out towards Brown County and also in Nicollet County, LeSueur County as well probably saw about a half an inch of rain in some of these localized heavy amounts of rain. Sunrise and sunset bringing us to 12 hours and 30 minutes of daylight. Let's get right to the radar. This is from about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Well, actually, this one would probably be sometime this evening after 9 o'clock. We started to watch these thunderstorms. We thought maybe they would go severe as they moved through Blue Earth County. Yes, they did. Along eastern Blue Earth County and Waseca County, we had reports of some severe weather. This was this evening after these storms had pushed through. The action that hit us earlier this evening hit parts of Brown and Nicollet County is well into west central Wisconsin, causing quite a bit of problems in Wisconsin. They continued to intensify as they headed into Wisconsin, and that's where they're going to be overnight. On the 3D loop, you can see the cloud tops. They explode. Watch this. Wow, we had some very powerful thunderstorms develop. We had southerly winds on the surface helping to draw up that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Behind it, we had some westerly winds on the upper levels that helped to create some of that circulation, and that's what lifted these thunderstorms up. And we had the cyclonic turn in these clouds. That's what created some of the thunderstorms. Little bits of low pressure along a frontal boundary, the cold front right here, helped to also trigger those little swirls. And you can see there's the cloud tops in Wisconsin right now, these producing some tornadic thunderstorms across Wisconsin at this hour. And on the big picture, you can see it blow up across the afternoon. Most of the action off to the east, there is still a tornado watch out for the southeastern corner of Minnesota. If you're headed out towards Rochester tonight, they're under a tornado watch until 2 o'clock in the morning out towards Austin as well. Houston County in the far corner of southeastern Minnesota under a tornado watch for these thunderstorms that have started to explode down towards Austin and Mason City. They'll continue to move east. We see another batch. The main threat tonight is going to be across northern Missouri and also into west central Illinois, northern Illinois. We'll get in on the action a little bit later. The temperatures were incredibly different across most of the area. You can see right now temperatures have cooled off to 30 degrees where it's snowing in Minot, North Dakota. It's also snowing in Rapid City, South Dakota. Very heavy snow and blizzard-like conditions out here. That's how powerful this low pressure system is. It's 66 degrees in Des Moines at this hour, 71 in Chicago. Look at the temperature difference, 71, 39 in Marshall. This was the area where there was quite a contrast in temperatures. That helped to also set the scene for these powerful thunderstorms. We talked a little bit about that last night. We talked about the temperatures that were moving in from the Dakotas. We talked about the heat and the moisture being drawn up, and we knew somewhere across southern Iowa or southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, we were looking at a pretty hefty batch of thunderstorms. Most of the action is done for tonight. Again, if you're out towards Austin, Albert Lee, you might see a brief shower or a thunder shower Otherwise, most of us are dry for the rest of the night. Overnight low around 43. Winds out of the south-southeast at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now for tomorrow, mostly cloudy, and I want to emphasize this, quiet, because tomorrow, folks in Nicollet County, folks in Brown County, the cleanup is going to be intense. Quite a bit of damage. It's going to be quiet. We're not going to have to deal with what we dealt with this afternoon. It's going to be a bit cooler, 51, and these quiet conditions will lead to a little bit of light rain tomorrow night, and that'll extend into Tuesday. As we take a look at the extended outlook, showers likely on Tuesday, nothing in the way of thunderstorms. We're not looking at severe weather. Unbelievable amounts of damage done across the area overnight. We warm up again to the end of the week, but like I said, nothing to worry about as far as severe weather, damaging winds, or anything in the way of tornadic activity expected at all this week. And Christy, just a real quick note that the last time we had a tornado actually hit the ground in Minnesota in March was March 20th of 1991 down in Faribault County. No injuries and no confirmed deaths, but again, this is very unusual. We usually wait. We don't see severe weather until late April and May, then June and July are our peak seasons. So those of you out there that are watching wondering what's going on, remember El Nino is still affecting our weather, and it helped to fuel some of these storms around our area this afternoon.
Let's just hope that we don't get another batch of these later in the spring.
I know. We're going to continue to probably have these stronger cell thunderstorms move through this spring. Quite a bit of difference in the temperature. But again, tonight, I want to thank everybody, and everybody did a great job. Those of you out there that called in, those of you that were helping us out, thank you very much. We'll continue to watch the situation and have an update tomorrow night.
Thanks, Brian. There's still a lot of help going out to those areas. I want to make a quick note right now. Fairfield and Comfort Inns in Mankato are letting anyone devastated by the storm that doesn't have a place to spend the night sleep there one night free. That's Fairfield and Comfort Inns in Mankato. Thank you again, Brian.
Sure.
Stay with us. World News is straight ahead.
If you think the large centerport grill found on the GMC Sierra is designed just to look good, think again. The more air an engine takes in, the more power it puts out. Which is one reason why Sierra is the most powerful half-ton pickup truck in its class.
Right now, take advantage of this great offer on a 1998 GMC Sierra for $299 per month for 24 months. The 1998 GMC Sierra, only at your GMC dealer.
At the auto show, you get to look at a lot of cars, which is great. But to find out why Chevy Cavalier is the best-selling car in the market, you've got to get to your Chevy dealer and drive one. Why is the Chevy half-ton the best-selling truck in the market? Drive one. Or come drive a Chevy Malibu. Chevrolet's offering 1.9 financing on them all. Now you know a Chevy delivers a lot for your money, but you take one on the road and it delivers, period. Get 1.9 financing now at your Chevrolet dealer's Big Spring Sales Drive.
The Bulls are thundering into the Mankato Civic Center. Lockers Dodge presents the Spring National Invitational Bull Riding Championship in Freestyle Bullfights. It's the best against the beast. April 3rd and 4th at 8 p.m. 30 of the top bull riders in the country in the ultimate showdown with some of the most notorious bulls ever to slam dunk a cowboy. See Freestyle Bullfighting where it's man against man-eating bull in a game of treacherous tag. Don't miss the bone-crushing bull riding bullfighting action. April 3rd and 4th at the Mankato Civic Center.
If you're looking for deals on wheels, better get to the Wheel Deal Dealer, Clement Chevrolet, Nissan, Volkswagen. There's a fine selection of Chevrolets, Nissans, and Volkswagens at unbeatable prices. Besides having southern Minnesota's largest selection of new vehicles, Clement Chevrolet, Nissan, Volkswagen has over 300 used vehicles in all price ranges. Check out their bargain lot. Remember, when looking for deals on wheels, all roads lead to Clement Chevrolet, Nissan, Volkswagen, the Wheel Deal Dealer, Madison Avenue, Mankato.
It's the time of year when thousands of Muslims make their pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. They come to Mecca, the main holy site of Islam. Included among the pilgrims to the Holy Land were 105 defiant Libyans who refused to let an international air embargo stop them from coming to Mecca. On Sunday, they boarded a Libyan Airlines plane and flew into Saudi Arabia despite the international air embargo imposed on Libya in 1992. But breaking the international law is nothing new. Tripoli has violated the embargo every year since 1994 to fly pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. An Israeli archaeologist says he's found the oldest Jewish synagogue ever uncovered in the Holy Land, dating back to about 75 BC. He's unearthed remains of the synagogue outside the West Bank town of Jericho in the same area as as an ancient palace of Jewish rulers was recently found. The synagogue was housed in a stone building and includes a small courtyard along a ritual bathhouse. The synagogue and the palace it was housed in were destroyed by an earthquake in 31 AD. And still to come, Greg has sports. It's Sunday, so another fabulous rendition of Plays of the Week is headed your way. And highlights from the T-Wolves game and the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Stay with us. Sports is next.
Say, what's in those jars?
Pickled eggs, pig's feet, other things.
People eat those? Is that what I think it is?
Some things we may never understand. Some things we should. At ReliaStar, we help you understand the complex world of investments and insurance so you can make the right financial choices. ReliaStar.
Way back in 1998, they came out with this new lotto game called Cash for Life, where you could win $1,000 a week for the rest of your life. Those folks have been so nice, calling all the time just to see how I'm doing. Well, I'm doing just fine, but they keep calling. It's nice to know they care so much.
Cash for Life, $1,000 a week for as long as you live.
March of Dimes Walk America. Together, we're saving babies. From birth defects, from low birth weight, from infant death. When you walk, you save babies. Join us.
Sports, brought to you by the new Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealers. It's about change.
Our most powerful computers use trillions and trillions of ones and zeros to extract 200 horsepower from just 2.7 liters of aluminum to balance the equation of driving comfort and driving exhilaration, to create abundant space within a slippery cab-forward shape. Then, with just 3 digits, we made it affordable. The new Dodge Intrepid. 34 trillion bytes to build it. $289 a month to lease it.
Greg was a little calmer in the sports department than it was in the weather department
Yeah,
today.
the women were vying for a national championship tonight, but it seems a little insignificant when some of the other things going on. But nonetheless, the games will go on. Today was the day for the women to crown their NCAA champion in Kansas City. Tennessee and Louisiana Tech are the cream of the crop, and they have been for a long time. The Lady Volunteers were an unblemished 38-0 heading in. The Lady Techsters right on their heels at 31-3. And lack of restraints for obvious reasons caused the highlights to get lost in the shuffle, but Tennessee dominated as expected. They take home the national title 93-75. The Lady Vols finished a perfect 39-0. The title is the 6th for head coach Pat Summitt. Freshman Tamika Catching scored a game-high 27 points. Next year, the Lady Vols will not rebuild, just reload. It's a little less meaningful, but the T-Wolves went to work against Sacramento. Minnesota secured a playoff spot on Friday against the Clippers, but they still have 3 weeks and 11 games left on the schedule. What do you do if you're Flip Saunders? Either rest the bodies or go at it. And the Timberwolves would decide to show their best hand tonight. Watch the dime from Stephon Marbury to Cherokee Parks, and the Cherokee Nation is rocking the house. And there was dunks galore tonight. More crisp passing, and Stanley Roberts polishes it off with a portly deuce of his own. But the night belonged to Kevin Garnett. This putback coming up right here off the miss was good for 2 of his season-high 32 points. KG also had 14 boards, and the T-Wolves would hang on to win 104-96. That is Minnesota's 3rd straight win and 5 of their last 6. In the sports world, teams must overcome adversity just like towns in the real world. Things happen sometimes, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Sometimes laughter can be the best medicine during the worst times, and the Plays of the Week will give you just that.
Some people have the ability to make us laugh, and some have no sense of humor at all. You try everything, but nothing works. Not even the story of when you were in the 6th grade and just... Ouch. So when you run out of stories, it may be time to live by the old adage of skin to win. You're guaranteed to at least get a smile.
on the way. They play by Oliver Miller. How about that?
Now to Smitty. Goes baseline. Through a lot of blue shirts. The flipper goes.
Way outside for three. That's off the mark. Lewis takes it back out. Puts up the prayer. No!
Unbelievable. Minnesota leads by one. Marbury and the kid. Marbury. Superman is in the building. Stephon Marbury.
Body's rising right now. Let's see what he can do.
He's got all his teammates rising. Look at the ball rising. Look at that strike block. Hello, that's a 60. I mean, are you kidding me? Later 10's up there.
Green with a drive to center field. Williams is going back and will make the catch. Dropped it. He got there and dropped the ball, and look at Stewart and Fernandez, one after the other to the plate, and look at this. Got them both.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?
Remember, kids in the back seat.
The Bulls are thundering into the Mankato Civic Center. Lockers Dodge presents the Spring National Invitational Bull Riding Championship and Freestyle Bullfights. It's the best against the beast. April 3rd and 4th at 8 p.m. 30 of the top bull riders in the country in the ultimate showdown with some of the most notorious bulls ever to slam dunk a cowboy. See freestyle bullfighting where it's man against man-eating bull in a game of treacherous tag. Don't miss the bone-crushing bull riding bullfighting action. April 3rd and 4th at the Mankato Civic Center.
For over 100 years, homeowners have turned to Bruce for beautiful, quality-crafted hardwood floors. Warm, inviting Bruce floors feature an easy care, no wax finish that resists spills and stains, kids and their trains. You can install a Bruce hardwood floor in any room, over any surface. Add the beauty of America's favorite hardwood floors to your home.
Brickway Carpet, 1107 Cross Street, North Mankato.
When you evaluate the hybrids you plant, you think about how they come up in the spring. You reflect on how they look through the summer. Most importantly, you watch how they finish in the fall. And as farmers monitor their success in corn, our numbers keep coming up. As grow corn, working for you.
Okay, Brian, why don't you give us one more, let's talk about the storms one more time.
Yeah, we've had these storms come through this evening. Now we're going to have the National Weather Service out tomorrow. They're going to take a look at the path to decide, A, what strength this tornado was in the Fujita scale, and that's the scale that they use. I would believe an F3 would probably be pretty good at this point as far as a guess as to what the scale is. It's an F1 to F3, or F0 to F5 scale, and an F3 or an F4 with the damage that has been done would put it probably about an F3 or an F4. And then again, the National Weather Service will have the updates tomorrow. We'll have an update tomorrow night at 6 on the weather. We'll take a look at the path. And again, our hearts and prayers definitely go out with those that are in the damaged areas this evening. Storms are out of the area right now, and they're expected to move into west central Wisconsin. That's where the severe weather will be tonight. And as we take a look at the extended outlook, it's going to quiet down. Now, tomorrow it's going to be quiet. Some showers moving in tomorrow late afternoon. They'll extend into Tuesday and Wednesday, but like I said, nothing severe expected the rest of this week as temperatures go back up above average by the end of the week.
Brian and Christy picked a wild night to go out on. It was her last night. She's been with us for a year, and this is her last. There, Brian's got some flowers for you.
Thank you.
It's
shocking.
It's kind of a weak bouquet, but you know that's what they.
Thank you.
It was a little crazy today.
They're beautiful. Thank
We're going to
you,
look at
guys.
a tape of Christy. There she is. She was here. She's been here a little over a year, and she's changed a few hairstyles here and there. But good luck to you. She's going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and will work at Kelloland TV. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been fun here. I can't believe I'm leaving. I have a couple thank yous. First of all, my family is from Hutchinson, and I know that my relatives, my mom and dad, and Grandma and Grandpa Pullen, haven't missed a weekend show in all the time I've been here, so they can finally go to sleep before 10 o'clock on Saturday night. I also need to thank all the viewers. I've really met wonderful people here. Well, I want them to watch you. They'll tape you.
All right.
Okay. All the viewers and the people I've done interviews with, it's been wonderful. I'm going to miss it here. My heart will be in southern Minnesota, and I can't imagine going on another desk without the two of you on either side of me. It's going to be difficult. It's been wonderful here.
Right.
Thank you.
We're going to send you out with a bang. Don't break down on us now.
No, I'm not going to break down. It's been too wild to break down. And I need to thank everyone here, the Team 12 troops and General Tom Schultz. Thank you all. It's been great. My weekend reporter, Robert Redding, and There Just Aren't Words, and the production crew, and everyone. You know who you are. Thank you. Once again, we're going to have, I won't, but everyone else is going to have continuing coverage on this nasty storm. Thank you so much, southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Good night.